I wanted to wait to do this video because I wanted to get as much information about the man and about what he was about before I did this video. Along with many of you listening to me at this particular time, I grew up watching ESPN, and while I may have been a critic of that channel in recent years because of the quality of the content has been dispersed for us to watch, and how I feel it is woefully inadequate compared to what I grew up with in the 1980s and 1990s, there were still many good things about ESPN. Some of them, the individuals, there was some programming that was still good, but many of the individuals were still quality individuals. And John Saunders was one of those individuals. John Saunders died this week at the age of 61. He was found unresponsive in his bed by his wife. When police arrived on the scene, they were unable to revive him. John Saunders played hockey. I think it was for the University of Western Michigan. I think it's named the college. I might have that wrong. But if that's the college, I think that's the same college that George Gervin went to. But John Saunders was a Canadian, and he was one of the few. When I first started watching ESPN in the late 80s, he's one of the few, if not the only, African-American anchor that I remember being on that channel. And I remember the wide range as far as topics he could cover and sports he could cover. And I remember him being a host of the Sports Reporters, which featured many other personalities, two of them who are also now gone. Brian Burwell, who was a longtime contributor to ESPN, and the late, great Ralph Wiley. John Saunders helped to pave the way for a Stuart Scott, who we've lost as well, and a guy who I found out he was a mentor of, Stephen A. Smith, whether you like him or not. John Saunders was there to guide these individuals. And while I always say that it doesn't make you a racist to support people of your own kind, that's stupid. A racist is someone who openly roots against and hopes for people who aren't like him to succeed. But you always want people who you can relate to succeed. And John Saunders was a very generous man. He was one of the founding members of the Jimmy V Foundation, named after the late great coach Jim Valvano, who died of cancer in 1993 for cancer research. Jimmy V Foundation. Recently, just this year, John Saunders did games for NBA in the playoffs. So we saw him during many of those games on ABC, and you can see what John Saunders meant to his ESPN colleagues as they found out that he had passed away. You never heard a bad thing about this guy, and while ESPN has lost a lot of talent over the last few years, even though Skip Bayless, has left recently, and Colin Cowherd, and Dan Patrick, and Keith Olbermann, right, Brian Kelly, and many others have left. But John Saunders had been a constant presence there at ESPN, and he'd been battling health issues recently. From what I can tell, he had a horrible fall some years ago that affected his equilibrium, but we never would have guessed that in a million years because of the professionalism that he brought to his position as an anchor. And he was always prepared, and he will be greatly missed by the ESPN, and I send my thoughts and prayers to his family.